guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be starting my next TBR Challenge vlog. Yes, we are in the car again. This is most of my life. I live in the car, or at work, or at volleyball. So here we are again. Totally fine, we're just going to do it. Currently I have 106 books. I think it's 106. No, it's 105. I have 105 books on my TBR to get read or, DNF'd. So my goal is to get to under 100 by the end of the year. So I have 6 books to read this year. And so in this vlog, I'm hoping to get through 2, maybe 3 of them. Definitely going to start with After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And this book, we are following Lauren and Ryan, and we're getting their love story after the fact. So it's after they're married, and it starts off with him like arguing and fighting a lot. And what they decide to do is take a year off. So they like separate for a year. They're not allowed to contact each other. Other than that, anything goes. And see if that brings them back together or if that like ends the marriage, basically. And so far, I just started. I'm like 20 minutes in. And we got their like now, but we also got a little bit of their before and like how they met. So I'm thinking that we're probably going to get a lot of their love story interwoven throughout their time apart, which would be really cool because you get a little bit of both. I usually like Taylor Jenkins Reid. I haven't read a ton of her books, and I've definitely not read her more popular books like, what is it, Carrie Soto's Back and Atmosphere, and she has another one that's, Daisy Jones and the Six or something. That one's also really popular, and I've not read any of those. I like her love stories more than like her more contemporary ones, I think. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just talking. But so I am going to read this one. I haven't decided the others I'm going to read. I had a list made out of what I wanted to read, but then I change my mind. I change my mind all the time. Apparently, I am not so good at sticking to my list when it comes to books, which is funny because I always thought that I was pretty good about it. Like, I would always make a list, and I would have like a series that I was going through. So I'd be like reading this series, and I'd read this book in this series, and I'd read this book in this series, and then I'd read this one, and then I'd come back. And there's a cop looking at me because I'm at the school. And so, yeah. Anyways, SROs at the schools. He just walked past. But anyways, so I would always just like cycle through, and I would do that until I finished the series, and then I would add a new series. So I don't know why I'm so bad at keeping the TBRs. But so, if you haven't heard in any of my other videos yet, I am thinking of doing away with my TBR videos just because I don't really stick to them. And it also takes me a while to read through some books, so you end up hearing about the same books like over and over and over again because I never get to them. So I think that I might just do like every couple of months, be like, hey, these are the next books that I'm hoping to get to in this next season of life, maybe. I don't know. I haven't fully figured it out yet, but I think that I might do something like that rather than like, this are the books I'm going to read this month, because I'm not stuck to that at all this year, and it could just be this year. Who knows? But welcome back to the vlog. I will keep you updated. Oh my gosh, look at us. Back in the original setup, not in the car today. If we're going to ignore the laundry and the mess because I have been busy and I'm working on it. Okay, I promise. But so, I have been reading After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I was a little bit wrong. We have not gotten their love story interwoven into the narrative. We actually got quite a bit of their love story early on. Like, it would be like a chapter and be like 7 years ago or 4 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, and it would go like that. And so you kind of get like the progression of their relationship. And so now I'm at the part where they've decided to separate. And I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if we're going to get more of that love story throughout. I kind of hope we do, because I feel like that build up is the part that like makes you fall in love with the characters and like gives you some sort of stakes and like a reason to hang on to it. Because right now, I don't have a full reason to like hang on to that and root for them to get back together other than just they were married, you know? And so hoping we get a little bit more of that love story. I am really liking it so far. Not like loving. It's fine so far. I'm only 25% in. But I am liking it so far. I like Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing style. I like her character so far. I do want more interactions between Lauren and Ryan. That way, like, we have something to root for. You know, like, why should I root for their marriage if I don't know anything about their marriage? You know, I don't feel like the little pieces that we got were truly enough. So I'm hopeful that I will get to like really root for them as a couple. Other than that, it's going pretty good so far. I don't have a whole lot of updates. Everything so far has been focused on their relationship. Um, we don't really know a whole lot of like the relationships in their lives. Lauren is pretty close with her sister, and that's pretty much the only one that we've truly seen her interact with, other than Ryan. Ryan, I don't think that we've seen him interact with anybody else. It would be really cool to see like his perspective in all of this too. So far, we have not gotten anything from his perspective. It's all been from Lauren, which is fine. But I think that it would add to it to see his perspective. I don't know. I really love books that do the dual perspectives when it comes to like the romance novels. But yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of like her work or anything, but like it's literally just been like um almost kind of like a montage of their life up to this point. So like kind of like we can catch up. Um so we don't really have a whole lot of like depth to their relationships yet. So hoping that'll change. If you have not heard, because I feel like I complain about it all the time, but I've been complaining about my Libby app because I'll have a book and I'll be listening to it for a couple hours and then it won't let me listen to it anymore. It was user error apparently. So I emailed the tech support or whatever, and they were like, "Here's all your options." And apparently, the books weren't downloading fully, and so I guess when I got to the part where it had finished downloading, that was why I was able to listen to it for a couple of hours, and then it was just like dead. So apparently, it was user error, but I've got it figured out now, so that's fantastic because I'm currently out of loans on Libby, and I only get not Libby, Hoopla, and I only get 4 on those, so that's not going to be enough for me because I listen to a lot of books. I mean, I don't finish a lot of books, but I start a lot of books. So I definitely need access to more. Plus, Hoopla doesn't have everything on it that I want to listen to, so that's a problem. I think I have decided to do quarterly TBR videos, and they won't be all inclusive, but they'll just be like some key highlights of books that I want to read. And I think that's going to be the best method moving forward. I do that kind of thing with like my finances and the goals I have set for those. And so I think that it'll be the most like flexible thing while also being like, hey, these are the books I want to read. So I think that's what I'm going to continue to do. Well, not continue, I'm going to start that. I'm also going to continue to do my regular wrap ups. I really like doing the wrap ups. So I guess we will continue to figure it out. I am loving After I Do. It has been fantastic. It has been very different from what I thought we were going to get. We are not getting any more of their love story interwoven into their story, which is kind of sad. I was really hoping to get some more of their love story, but I'm about 50% of the way in, and I've not gotten anything from their past since those first few chapters. So, definitely doesn't look like we're going to get any more of their love story, which is fine. We get to follow, what's her name? Laura and Ryan. Was it Lauren and Ryan? I don't remember. Okay, it's been a long day. But so we get to follow them as they sort of go through this time, the separation apart. I really wish we were following part of his perspective, even just a little bit, because we were getting nothing from his side. She did find some messages that gave us a little bit of his side, but we're not getting much of his side at all. And I would really, really like to. So that's my only complaint, really. Like, those two things are my biggest complaints so far. But I'm really liking it so far. I really like the dynamic and the focus on her and her friendships and her family, and really building those relationships, and her working through this separation and what it means to her, and figuring out who she is as a person. So all of those things are really good. Um, there's not a whole lot to say that's not spoilery. I really love the dynamic with her and her mom. We're getting just a few scenes between her and her mom in the aftermath of everything kind of happening, and her mom has been fantastic. I really like her mom. I really like her sister too, because her sister's just like, am I supposed to be supportive or am I supposed to be honest? Because I can't do both at the same time. And so it's just her kind of like giving it back to her sister, which is kind of cool, because I mean, her sister came to her and was like, I just need you to be supportive. Like, that's all that I need from you right now. And then she's like, what are your thoughts? And she's like, do you want me to be supportive or do you want me to be honest? Like, what do you need from me? And so I feel like I'm in that space quite a bit. Sometimes you just gotta ask the question of, what do you need? And so I'm really liking her sister. We haven't really gotten much like plot, like there's not really a whole lot happening. And I think that's probably why I have very little to say about it, is because there's not a whole lot happening. We're literally just following her day to day and having some interactions with different people. That's really about it. I like the storytelling, and I like the interactions with others. I've laughed out loud a couple of times. I don't really have any complaints. Yeah, it's been fine so far. I finished After I Do, and I had a good time with this. I didn't love it, but I definitely had a good time with it. I think that the characters are really good, and I really loved Lauren's family dynamics. I thought those were fantastic. I really loved the topic of discussion of how to deal with your marriage when there's conflict. Within Lauren's family, there was a lot of different types of relationships and a lot of different dynamics, and you get to see how different people would have handled her situation. And I love the exploration of that. Like, what is the right answer when your relationship is kind of suffering and you resent each other and you really don't want to be around each other? So what do you do when you've already spent, I think it was like 10 years together? It was a long time together. And you've been married, you've been together since you were 19, and you grew up together and they're ingrained in your family, and part of you wants to keep that relationship, but the other part of you is like, I can't even stand you. And what is the answer? Like, how do you fix that? And I love the fact that the book sort of explored lots of different perspectives on how to handle that situation. So I thought that was pretty cool. I definitely enjoyed Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. I like how she does her romance novels. I had read one before and things didn't go the way that I was thinking. And so I went into this one thinking the same way of like, what if this doesn't go the way that I am thinking that it might? And so that kept me from landing in either direction of, are they going to be together? Or are they not going to be together? And I really like the mystery of that, because we have no idea when we have no idea what's going to happen. And I love following Lauren's story. I still wish that we had gotten part of Ryan's, but there are some messages that we do get to see throughout the story a little bit. where we kind of get a little bit of Ryan's perspective of what's happening and what he's going through. But I had ideas on why we weren't getting his perspective, and I thought maybe that's because they weren't going to get back together. But I don't know that that's what that was. I don't think that was why she made that choice. I'm not going to tell you if they get back together or not. But that made sense in my head. Is they're not going to get back together, then we don't need his perspective. And so I think that that's what kept me from being like, are they going to get back together or are they not? And so I really like I don't know, especially because in Lauren's perspective, we're getting a lot of, I'm unsure, but I also miss him. And I want him to be here for this. Or I'm really mad at him. And so I don't want him involved at all. I don't want to talk to him at all. And so I really like that exploration. It was fine. Glad I read it, but not something that I'll read again. Next on my list is Baking with Benefits. And I don't remember much about this book's description, but I think, if I remember correctly, we're following this girl and she's trying to get back out in the dating world. And so she's asked advice from like her 3 men in her life, like 3 guy friends in her life. And they're all like helping her try to get back into dating. And I think she dates all of them. I think they like all become a thing. And I don't know how that works in this story. And I don't know if that's right. That's just what I remember feeling like the direction the story was taking. So I love a fake dating relationship. Fake dating is my favorite romance trope. I love fake dating. It's so much fun. And so I'm super excited to get into this one. I had to wait until October officially hit because I'm listening to it on Hoopla. So I've been like chomping at the bit to borrow this one, but I had to wait for October. And so now it's October 2nd, and I'm finished with After I Do, and I'm finished with another book that I was reading. So now is the time we get ready to start it. And I'm super excited about it. I really hope I love it. Okay, so I'm going to DNF Faking with Benefits. I just don't like it. And let me explain. So I started out immediately not liking it because of the accents, and I don't understand. Do not understand. Because I watch YouTubers who are from overseas who have accents, and I love listening to like Chris Hemsworth accent, Tom Holland's accent. Like, I love the accents. And I don't understand what it is in the audiobooks that it immediately pulls me out of it. I don't understand. I don't know. Because I love watching my YouTubers. I love listening to their accents in movies or like in interviews. Oh, I love it. So I don't understand. Okay. So I tried. I listened to it and I kept pushing through it. And I will be honest, I got to 4 or 5 chapters in, and then the accents kind of quit pulling me out of it. But then I just didn't care about the story, and I didn't like the characters at all right off. I don't even know why. Like, they didn't do anything, really. So, the story. We're following Layla, and she is going on these dates, and we actually see her in a date, and her date, like, hops out the window. And she's been on, like, 120 first dates, no second dates, and she's never had a real boyfriend. So, like, she's really struggling with being in a relationship. And so her friends from across the hallway, her neighbors, I don't remember their names. So they run a podcast called like The Single Guys or something. And their whole premise is they give dating advice, but they're single dudes. It's for entertainment purposes only, is what they say. So she is talking to them, and she's pouring her soul out to them about how she's struggling at dating and she can't do it and she just needs help. Well, they find out that their ratings for their show are going down. So they decide to help her out and teach her how to date in order to help their own ratings. So it's going to be like a quid pro quo. What is that? Quid pro quo sort of thing. And that's where I got to. I got to their first date together. And I was like 10 chapters in, and I didn't care. I didn't much care for her at all. I, I don't know. I just didn't really, there was nothing like to grab onto that I really liked about her. I mean, she was quirky and fine, which is, you know, normally I can relate to pretty well. But I don't know. I don't even know that she was like too quirky. You know how you like have to have that fine line between like you're quirky enough that you're relatable, but now you're too quirky and now it's like a turn off. I don't even know that she's in that place. I just didn't like her. And then I didn't really like the dudes. And it's so interesting because they were on their show and they were like being bros about whatever. And they made like crude jokes. And I'm just like cringing. Like, that's disgusting. But give me a smutty book written by an author that I really like, it's totally fine. So I think that it's just not meshing well with me. And so I'm going to go ahead and DNF it. I really wanted to read it. It was one that I really wanted to like because I found it in the bookstore and I really love that whole like love triangle sort of thing is what I thought it was originally going to be. But then I think it was like we're all kind of dating in an open relationship. Maybe they're all dating together, which I've come to really like from reading Emily Rath. So it's a bit of a bummer, but it's okay because we're going to move on to the dating dare. And this one also has a trope that I really like. I really love dares where you got two couples or well, two people, and they are daring each other and they're using dating as sort of like a game, which it shouldn't be used as a game. But in romance novels, in movies, like it just works and it's just entertaining. And so this one definitely has all of the right things for me to really enjoy it. Hopefully I do because I'm tired of DNFing stuff. I would really like to get through like this TBR videos and actually have enjoyed a book or two. Like I don't know that I've really like loved anything that's been on this in these TBR videos at all. And I'm a little bit sad about it. So hopefully we can change that. Okay. So I have been reading The Dating Dare and I'm already about halfway through. It's fine so far. It's good. It's just not as good as like Pucking Sweet or one of these other romances that I really love. So I'm not like fawning over it. But it's definitely been a good time. I really like the characters. We're following Seth and Tara, and they are both interested in just doing like a quick little fling. And he's getting ready to go to Paris for a job. And so he's only has a month in the country left, which is perfect for Tara because she doesn't want any kind of like long term relationship. So them having a deadline is like perfect for her. And so they end up in like this dare. And he said that he asked her to go on 4 dates with him and to like not fall in love with him or something like that. And so they are going on these dates and they are most definitely starting to fall for each other pretty quickly, actually. I don't even know that they got fully through the very first date and they were already liking each other. Actually, I think it was like that very first hangout. They were already liking each other. I really like the fact that there's not a whole lot of like the miscommunication trope in this one. They are very much like upfront with everything. There was a situation early on where she was not entirely sure what had happened in a situation and she was kind of upset about it and she was kind of assuming the worst but also trying not to assume the worst and trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and then they actually talk about it like pretty quickly. And so because of the fact that they talked about it, like they were able to work it out, and I really like that a lot better than the whole like I'm mad at you for ever and I don't want to talk to you because of the fact that you did this thing that I assumed that you did and I didn't ask questions. So that's definitely a relief. I like their interactions together. They are very playful together and I really enjoy playful and like good interactions and good banter. And their relationship is believable. Like, it's believable that they would like each other and be compatible with each other. So that's really nice. And you can, like, it, like, comes off the page really well that they are compatible with each other. I think that's really about it. There's not really a ton to say other than I'm enjoying the read. Not my favorite read, but definitely a decent time. I like the characters. I don't know if there's a whole lot else to say. So I will probably update when I am done. So you'll get my final thoughts. All right, I finished The Dating Dare, and I also figured out why I don't really like it as much. And I'll get to that in a second. But I'm very proud that I was able to figure it out. But so I finished it, and it was fine. I mean, the love story was nice and all. They seemed really compatible. Their chemistry, you could tell it was there. Um, a lot of miscommunication happening as far as, like, I have been hurt in the past and I don't want to talk about it, so I'm not going to tell you, and not going to tell you how I feel because I'm sticking to the rules, like those kinds of things. Very typical miscommunication sort of thing. And I figured out that the reason why I don't like it is because of the fact that it is just about the love story. There is nothing else there that's happening in their lives. Not really. Not any conflict as far as, like, interpersonal relationships or really their jobs. No other challenges in life that they're dealing with other than the relationship. And I think that they had really good moments for being able to expand on that, and they just didn't. Like, Tara is a winemaker, or, well, an alcohol maker. I don't know what they're called. And she even talks about this competition that they tend to enter, and her goal was to make really good alcohol for this contest in order to beat these other people. That's it. That's all that was mentioned of it. We didn't actually see her participate in this competition. We didn't see any preparation for this competition. Nothing. There were no interpersonal relationship conflicts that she was dealing with. A little bit of, like, her mom is a little bit tough on them or something, but, like, that was it. Nothing. Her family was in it, but it was just very everyday conversations, them noticing her feeling down, those kinds of things. They went out to lunch one time. That was really it. Her best friend was out of town for a majority of the story, so we didn't really get to see a whole lot of those interactions. So there wasn't anything there as far as, like, her storyline. And even with Seth, he is setting up his brother's restaurant because his brother's on vacation for his honeymoon. And we don't see a lot of interactions with Seth actually doing that kind of stuff. We see him working on the website with Tara, and we know that he makes some decisions, and there are some, like, discussions of, like, the chairs that they're pulling in or needing more lighting, but it's very fleeting. There's nothing else of substance as far as outside of just the relationship. Nothing with his job. I mean, his job is pretty cool. He's a fashion photographer. He's getting ready to go move to Paris so that he can be a photographer there. Not a whole lot of conversation about him being a photographer. We don't see him go on any other jobs, which, granted, he's getting ready to transition in life, so it's very likely and very realistic that he is kind of in a lull period. But that was it. Like, there were no other conflicts happening outside of this relationship, and I think that that's why I don't like it. I feel like a lot of the love stories that I really am drawn to, they have more substance to them. And so I think that that's why I didn't like it nearly as much as others. Other than that, I mean, it was a decent read. Not something that I would read again. No, definitely, that's it. That's really it. It's very mid. Um, so that's also the end of this vlog. I'm going to go ahead and finish it here since I think I've gone through 3 books, I think. So we're going to go ahead and end it. I'm getting ready to head for a run, so trying to make this pretty quick. So wish me luck on this run because I'm trying to get back into running, and it's tough. It's a struggle. I am not one who naturally enjoys running. So, getting ready to go on this run. Wish me luck, because I'm definitely not a runner, and I definitely struggle with running. Chat with me more in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.